Freedom, the challenge of a blank canvas that scares us. Parasha Bo does not begin with a go, lech, but with a come, bo. Hashem says to Moses, "Come to Pharaoh." Here, Hasidic commentators explain that God was inviting Moses to enter the deepest part of the darkness, assuring him that even there, in the heart of the oppressor, he was present. If the miracle was so immense, if the promises were fulfilled with mathematical precision, why does the human being still drag their feet when it comes to faith? Why is it so hard for us to trust him in everyday life? The Sfat Emet teaches that the greatest miracle was not taking the Jews out of Egypt, but taking Egypt out of the Jews. Egypt, known as Mitzrayim, represents our limitations, our addictions, our I can't, and our familiar fears. We struggle to believe because human beings prefer a known misery to an uncertain freedom. Trusting the eternal forces us to walk into a desert where there are no visible guarantees, only His word. Today, this shows up when we cling to jobs, relationships, or habits that suffocate us simply because we are terrified to trust that if we let go, God already has manna prepared for us. The Ramban, Nachmanides, drops a truth that shakes us. The purpose of the plagues was not to change nature, but to show us that nature itself is a hidden miracle. Why is it so hard for us to believe? Because we have become blind through repetition. We think the sun rises by inertia and that bread reaches the table solely because of our own effort. When we disconnect the cause, God, from the effect, our life, the heart hardens like Pharaoh's. Parasha Bo invites us to break apart our routine and see that every breath is the fulfillment of the promise of life He gives us each morning. The reason for all these events, the plagues, the darkness, the lamp, was not to punish Egypt, but to educate the soul. God wanted Israel to see that He's not up there watching, but down here acting. Today, Anshati is the taskmaster's whip. It takes our breath away and makes us ask, where is God in this problem? The darkness in Egypt was so thick that no one could rise from their place. When we lose faith, we become paralyzed. But the Torah says that for the children of Israel, there was light in their dwellings. That light was not a lamp, it was emunah, trust. Faith does not change your situation immediately, but it changes your ability to see in the dark. The parasha ends with the commandment of tefillin. Why right now? Because the Eternal knows that the impact of a miracle fades with time. We need to bend the true to our arm, which is the action, and to our head, which is the thought. We struggle to believe because we want faith to be a spontaneous feeling, but the Torah teaches that it's an active commitment. If we do not consciously remember the miracles of yesterday, we will become slaves to the crisis of today. We all have an inner Pharaoh who tells us, you will take care of your spirit tomorrow. Today, you have to survive. And that is the real Egypt. The purpose of the Exodus at Passover is to remind us that we are not victims of circumstances, but guests in a purpose. If we find it hard to believe, it is because we are looking at the desert with a slave's eyes. But if we listen to the bow, "Come with me," we will understand that every promise of the eternal is not a pending debt, but a reality already unfolding, waiting for us to have the courage to take the first step out of our comfort zone. Today, your exodus from Egypt is not crossing a sea, but crossing the border of your own doubt and saying, "I trust because you are here." Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach.